Hello, Maddie here. Thank you for coming back for another week, another book. Thank you for just clicking on my videos again or for the first time. I really, really appreciate it. If you like hearing about books, especially emotionally safe books with cute endings, that's mostly what I do. Not 100%, but that's mostly what you're getting if you sign up for a Maddie video. We're here for it. So this week we're talking about I Am Princess X by Cherie Priest. This book I read for the first time in 2018 because it was my little sister's book of the year in 2018. I read it for the first time when I was in Paris, and I've read it at least once since then, and it's really good. I would recommend it, obviously. It's a really good book. We'll get into why. But before that, let's read the synopsis. Best friends, big fans, a mysterious webcomic, and a long-lost girl collide in this riveting novel, perfect for fans of both Cory Doctorow and Sarah Dessen, illustrated throughout with comics. Once upon a time, two best friends created a princess together. Libby drew the pictures, May wrote the tales, and their heroine, Princess X, slayed all the dragons and scaled all the mountains their imaginations could conjure. Once upon a few years later, Libby was in the car with her mom, driving across the Ballard Bridge on a rainy night. When the car went over the side, Libby passed away and Princess X died with her. Once upon a now, May is 16 and lonely, wandering the streets of Seattle when she sees a sticker slapped on a corner window. Princess X? When May looks around, she sees the princess everywhere. Stickers, patches, graffiti. There's an entire underground culture focused around a webcomic at IamPrincessX.com. The more May explores the webcomic, the more she sees disturbing similarities between Libby's story and Princess X online. And that means that only one person can have started this phenomenon, her best friend Libby, who lives. Pretty crazy, if I do say so myself. This book, it doesn't fall in my normal genre of cutesy romance stories, but I would say it falls more in the like coming of age part of a lot of the stories that I like and read. It has that kind of portion to it because May is very much on loose ground and trying to find her footing, and she's trying to just navigate young adulthood. She's trying to just figure out who she is and what she wants, where she's going and all these things. And she feels very lost since her best friend passed away. She's just been struggling to just find where she fits in. And I feel like that would be really hard, especially at that age. Because as you get older, I 100% have my best friends. But the person that I'm talking to every single day, the person that knows me best is my husband because he is my best friend. That obviously wasn't the case until I met and married him. Prior to that, I had best friends. And I still have the same best friends, but like my best friends from college and even different people, best friends from high school, that it's like if I lost one of them, especially the person I considered my best friend, that would have been life altering. And that would have definitely made me feel very confused. It would have made me feel like I wouldn't know which way was up and which way was down. And I feel like that would just be really, really hard. And so that's kind of what we're stepping into when this book starts. There's this girl that she's very lost. And she doesn't know what's up, what's down, and she doesn't know where to go. And kind of as if I'm remembering correctly, she's just wandering the streets of Seattle. She low-key might be skipping out on school, or she might be for like some premiere or something, author signing, something. And she sees a sticker for I Am Princess X. She sees like kind of a picture of the comic that her and her friend drew and wrote together. So like it's a very specific art style, like a very specific image, and not the sort of thing that you would just kind of magically see recreated somewhere because it's an original character. And she's like, what? This character that my friend and I made up in our heads that we haven't put anywhere is starting to show up everywhere around me. Like, what the heck is going on? And so it's following May as she is hunting down. So she sees the sticker, she sees more things, sees more kind of materials that it like talks about, like sees graffiti and things like that. And she finds the online comic of the I Am Princess X. And through those comics, it's telling a story. And May is following the clues given in that story to figure out what happened to Libby and to figure out what happened that night and to just figure out kind of all the pieces that went into it, because it was definitely much deeper than just her mom swerved off the road. There was a lot more pieces to it that May had no idea about. I think there might have been like small things. I think like her parents were going through divorce, things like that. And it's adding more pieces to the puzzle to give a full picture as to what actually happened that night and how they got to the present. So it's following her around. And what's super cool is some of the places in the book are like actual real life places. And because this was a family book of the year in 2018, when my parents went to Seattle, because I have an aunt that lives up there, my parents took pictures with the trolls, which is one of the clues in the comic, in the book. And they actually like, took a picture and like sent it to the family. And we're like, oh my gosh, because we'd all read it. So we knew what they were referencing and what they were talking about. So like, that's really cool, because that's one thing I love is when kind of fictional books meet real world. And when you can actually go to places that are mentioned in books, I think that's really cool and really fun. And it gives more life to them and it makes them more tangible. Cause it's like, yes, these characters are fictional. This story is fictional, but like it could be real. And while this story is a little bit more fantastical, it's not magical in any way. It's not fantasy. It's not the fantasy genre at all. So in theory, it could be true, which is like kind of terrifying, but also really cool. Take with that what you will. Now, in my blog, because I wrote about this ages ago, I talk about how I personally, as a cutesy book, emotionally safe love story reader, I feel like this book is a great introduction into the suspense thriller genre. Not only as a kind of like suspense thriller light, because it's nothing too crazy, nothing too gory, nothing like that, but it has lots of intrigue. It has you kind of going all over the city. It has risk. May is definitely a risk taker in ways that I am not. I am not a risk taker. It's not necessarily a joke in my family, but it is like low-key the running joke is that like Maddie's not a risk taker, especially physically, because while we have all been to the ER, I went to the ER because I had the flu so bad my mom was afraid it was scarlet fever. All my other siblings have been to the ER because they've either gotten stitches or broken bones. So, we're not risk taker. We're not risk takers in this household. All that to say, I feel like this book is a really good suspense thriller light as a person who doesn't read suspense thriller novels. Take with that what you will. Don't come after me if you're a suspense thriller reader, because I understand that I don't have a good knowledge of that. That's why I'm saying I feel like it's a good intro, because I could see how this could make you want to kind of dip your toes further into that and maybe get more into these crazy books. My kind of my most impactful similar type book is The Girl with the Wrong Name. So The Girl with the Wrong Name, I would feel like is a step further into the suspense thriller genre. And I really, really liked it. Super kept you on your toes. You didn't know what was going on. I made my little sister read it, the same one who recommended I Am Princess X, and she was not a fan because there were too many plot holes. But my suspension of disbelief is astronomical. I don't see plot holes. I think the plot is perfectly filled. And then other people point them out and I'm like, oh, you are right. That is a plot hole, a big plot hole. But I enjoy the book anyways. And then I forget that we talked about it. I enjoy the book anyways. So for me, that was kind of like next step in suspense thriller. We haven't gone past that because I am not a suspense thriller person. It's not my thing. It's not my genre. Nothing against it. Just I'm here for emotionally safe reads. And I feel like that genre is not conducive to the emotionally safe read. Right? Right. I feel like that. Anyways, I Am Princess X is a very good book. And one kind of like also asterisk I want to put on it is that it gives the illusion of being like a kid's book, like a young YA book. And it's really not. It's bigger, deeper, more emotional and impactful than that. So don't just write it off as like basically a little kid's book. It's a very good book. It is a good read. It has good characters, good story. Like it is super fascinating, will keep you on your toes, and is so good with a really good ending that I really want to recommend it. And I don't want you to write it off as not worth your time, because I wouldn't talk about it, or I would talk about it and say, this isn't worth your time. That's how I would have started the video, because I've done that with books before, or videos. I've literally said, I need to talk about this book, but you don't need to read it. I've done that. This book is a good book and you should read it. If you have similar book recommendations that are kind of like this, that are like suspense thriller light, I would totally be interested in that, because while I'm not gonna get super heavy into that stuff, I like this kind of light version where it's like I get some of it without the like what I would call super scary stuff. So let me know your other recommendations you need. If either you need to have already read this book or read this book and then give me your recommendations, so you know what the kind of guideline parameters are. Just saying, because we're not willing to read just anything. But I still love getting book recommendations. I love adding to my TBR for like when I'm feeling like something different. So you should give me those recommendations. Read this book, give me recommendations, and like, comment, and subscribe. Like I said at the beginning of the video, if that feels like your thing. So with all of that, I hope you have a great rest of your day. Hope you have a great night, a great week, great weekend, great month, great year. I hope you have all the greats, because you're truly worthy and deserving of them. So until next time, 再见. Bye.